You just finished up your workout and you're standing on top of a puddle of sweat. You know that you need to rehydrate quickly in order to prevent the fatigue that sets in when you become dehydrated. But what is the best way to rehydrate? Let's dive into some advanced hydration strategies. Hydration is extremely important, and it becomes even more important when we're talking about athletes. And this can mean the weekend warrior, or this could be talking about an elite level athlete. Both of them need to have a good strategy on how to remain well hydrated and how to prevent or correct for dehydration when it does occur. Now, last week we went through Hydration 101, and we said that you needed to get, if you're a man, you need to be taking in at least 3 liters of water each day. And if you're a woman, you need to be taking in a little bit more than 2 liters of water each day. Now, this is going to vary widely depending on if you are an athlete, if you're exercising outside, how big you are. All of these different things are going to affect, and they may make you need to drink up to 5, 6, even 7 liters of water each day. If you are a large man and you are exercising outdoors for multiple hours, you may need to take in 7 liters of water each day. But for everyone, for whatever type of athlete you are, if you are exercising multiple times a week, you need to have a strategy to prevent dehydration, because it can zap your energy levels and it can leave you more prone to injury and disease if you do become dehydrated. So let's go through a couple of my favorite strategies, and most of this information is going to be coming from the Sports Nutrition Handbook. They have a fantastic guide or fantastic chapter where they go through all of these different hydration strategies for all kinds of different athletes. And so basically what I've done here is I have summarized this for you and added in a few things of my own. So strategy number 1 is that you really should be flavoring your water. Now, it's not very surprising that if your water is sweet and flavored, you are going to probably drink more of it. And that's why things like Gatorade are so extremely popular. But it's not like you need to drink Gatorade every single time that you break even a mild sweat. There are a lot of different flavor additives that you can add into water in order to increase the likelihood that you will actually drink the quantities of water required. So if you need to drink 3 liters of water a day at minimum, that's about 10 to 12 8-ounce glasses. And so that's a lot more than most people are drinking. And that's where these flavored waters can really come into play. Now, strategy number 2 is super critical, especially for those of us that are exercising outdoors and we are sweating a lot. So strategy number 2 is that you need to add in electrolytes. Now, when you are sweating, you're exercising outside and you're sweating, you are losing a lot of electrolytes. And how many you lose is going to vary individual to individual. Some people are going to lose more, some people are going to lose less, but no matter what, if you are sweating, especially large amounts, you are going to be losing a significant amount of electrolytes. Things like sodium, chloride, potassium, calcium, and magnesium are all going to be lost in some quantities in your sweat. Now, what I have found to be extremely useful, you have 2 main options when you're talking about replacing your electrolytes. You can either eat the electrolytes, so you can eat food that has these salts in them. Things like pickles, saltines, pretzels, crackers, all of these are going to have a large amount of salt in them, or you could just salt your food and eat a regular meal. That will allow you to get the electrolytes that you need in order to remain hydrated. Now, another option is that you can add in some type of electrolyte tablets. So what I have used for multiple years now is I've been using a product called Noon. They make really, really good products, and it makes it really easy to add the electrolytes into your water. So generally, I will add about half or a quarter of one of these tablets into my water bottle, which is about a liter water bottle, especially if I'm exercising outside. Sometimes I'll add in up to a whole tablet if I'm going to be exercising outdoors for long periods of time. And this will allow you, one, it flavors your water, which is nice, so it makes it sweeter and makes you more likely to drink it. But two, it adds in all of the electrolytes that you will be losing in your sweat, the sodium, the chloride, the potassium, the calcium, all of these things, to make sure that you are actually absorbing the water that you're drinking. Now, you may think, oh, I can just drink plain water, but in the Sports Nutrition Handbook, they actually explicitly say that if you are an athlete and you are exercising outdoors, drinking water is not enough. Just plain water is not enough in order to rehydrate you. If you are drinking large volumes of just plain water, it's actually going to act as a diuretic, and you are going to end up getting rid of a lot of water, and you're not going to actually hold on to it and hydrate yourself. So you really need to have some type of electrolytes in there in order to make you actually absorb the water that you're drinking. And the other thing that you can do is what strategy number 3 is, which is add in some carbs. And adding in a small amount of carbohydrates, just a couple of grams for each liter of water that you're taking in, can again increase the amount of water that your intestines are actually absorbing. So you don't need to go crazy. It's not like you need to eat a bowl of pasta or rice in order to absorb your water. Just a couple of grams of dextrose or another type of sugar, simple sugar, will activate your intestines, and it will actually allow you to better absorb the water that you're drinking. So a lot of these tablets come with both some carbohydrates and some electrolytes, which can make them even more beneficial. Now, one word of caution is that some tablets like Noon and other ones, these ones do not, but some other products do actually have caffeine in them or other stimulants in them because it gets people kind of jacked up and people like that. But you don't want to be using these products if you're working out, especially if you're working out in the afternoon, because it can negatively impact your sleep. If you're taking them in the morning, then that's probably okay. As long as you're monitoring your caffeine intake, but taking them later in the day, it could negatively impact your sleep, which could decrease your performance. Now, the last strategy is my own, and this is something that has less to do with the quantity of water that you're taking in, but it has much more to do with the quality of the water. And so strategy number 4 is going to be to filter your water. So in our modern world, it's become very difficult to get very pure water. I have spent a lot of money. I used to buy spring water. I'd buy the big 9-gallon jugs of it, and I'd buy multiple of those each week because the water here in Florida isn't very good. And so I ended up spending a lot of money on that. Lots of people buy bottled water all of the time, and it ends up becoming very expensive in order to get good quality water. Other people, they use filters like Brita filters and stuff like that. Like I used to use those in college, but I actually did some research on it, and they don't really filter out very much. They can change the taste of the water a little bit if there are some things in the water that just don't taste good, but it's not going to be filtering out any heavy metals or anything that you would actually be concerned about. So what I did was recently I decided to purchase a Berkey filter, and it has 2 very large carbon filters and it takes out like 99.9% of all kinds of different heavy metals, of bacteria, of viruses. The list of chemicals that it removes, like organic chemicals and pesticides, volatile chemicals, things like that, is extensively long. If you go on their website, you can see that. This is what the box ended up looking like. I have the filter downstairs, but it's full of water, so I didn't feel like carrying it up here. But the filter is about that. It's a little bit larger than this box. It's got 2 containers, and it has been working excellently for us. So what I do is you just fill that thing up with water. It filters it through. It removes all of these bad things that I don't want in my water, and then I fill it up in my water bottle here. I'll add a little bit of the Noon, and so that's generally what I'm drinking. The other nice thing about these types of water filters is that they remove all of these things, but they keep the minerals that you actually do want. So they keep the sodium, the chloride, the potassium. These things go straight through the filters, so it's not going to be removing any of the beneficial minerals that we would like to have in our water. So I hope that this has been helpful. I know that these strategies can very much help you. If you are a weekend warrior or if you're an elite level athlete, these are the things that you need to be thinking about. If you are going to be exercising, you're going to be sweating, and especially if you're exercising outdoors or in the heat, you really need to have a strategy in order to prevent dehydration. Adding in some electrolytes, getting some flavored water, adding in a little bit of carbs, and then making sure that you're getting good quality water, either by purchasing spring water or getting a filter like the one that I'm using. All of that can be very beneficial for you. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Again, this is Floyd Meyer reminding you to drink better so that you can do more.